Well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's an absolute delight to be with you all to celebrate our students. And so celebrations, both small and large, are always a part of our lives. As a parent, I think back to our son Liam taking his first steps and us cheering wildly that he had accomplished this important developmental milestone. Or we think about the pictures we take of our kids on the first and the last day of school, even if they're rolling their eyes, to mark those accomplishments. And at times, these celebrations may seem rote or trivial, but the importance of them, whether it is for the child or the parents, cannot be understated. Tradition and celebration mark key moments. They allow us to take a deep breath, step back, and be thankful for what we have accomplished. There is a beauty in the time-honored tradition of publicly recognizing those that go above and beyond. And that is why we have gathered here today, to honor our students who have excelled both within and beyond the classroom. Students who have left an indelible mark on Chestnut Hill College and our community. Some students who will soon leave here and go out into a world so in need of people concerned with justice, care for the earth, and a deep desire to enter into a relationship with others. Relationships that cross perceived boundaries and acknowledge the human dignity of every person we encounter. Today we honor students who have truly embodied the ideals of a Chestnut Hill College education. Those who have fully embraced a transformative, holistic education. Those who unselfishly serve every dear neighbor without distinction. Those who prioritize just relationships with their fellow students. And honestly, at the end of the day, those who took a chance on themselves. Less than 10% of the world's population has a college degree. About 38% of Americans have a college degree. You and your families have made significant sacrifices to get to this point. So let's take a moment first to thank all of our families that are in the room for all that they've done. And to our students, you have the tools to be change makers. You have the tools to be inspiration creators. I hope you all embody that destiny, for it makes you powerful beyond your imagination. We hope that today is not only a celebration, but also an inspiration. I remember my freshman year of college, arriving at preseason soccer in the dog days of August. I wasn't even 18 yet. I wanted to just disappear into the ground, petrified of everything happening around me. But I also saw the captains of that team, and I thought that I would never be like them. They seemed so self-assured, miles away from how I felt as a 17-year-old freshman in a brand new scary place. But they were also aspirational. On that day, or maybe several weeks later, I knew that that's what I wanted to be as a senior. I wanted to be a leader that set the tone for the team. It drove me to work hard when no one was watching, and it drove me to do the right things when no one else might have cared. And that's what we hope for you all today, especially for our first years and sophomores, that you look at some of the juniors and seniors who are honored today, and you commit to yourself that you want to be like that one day, that you want to take the extra steps to be someone who next year has their name called at a ceremony just like this. You are the ones who have to set the culture of Chestnut Hill College. That is a job entirely left to our students. So some of you graduate in what I believe is 19 short days, and you are now the stewards of creating an inclusive world for those pushed to the margins. Some of you will walk our halls for another 1, 2, or 3 years. Now is the time that you stake out your leadership role here, to set the tone for what it means to be a student and a graduate of Chestnut Hill College. And we hope all of you know that the Hill will always be here to welcome you home, to reinvigorate you when the outside world seems hard, and to remind you that you are the best of the best, the change makers, the group that cares about all they encounter, and those who will always know that once a Griffin, always a Griffin, also means that this mission runs through your veins, and now you get to share that beyond these beautiful grounds. Congratulations to everyone who is nominated today and honored today. As faculty and staff, our biggest honor is witnessing your honors, and we thank you for allowing us to be part of your educational journey. And I now like to turn it over to Dr. Mia Grogan, who will come forward to present our students completing the interdisciplinary honors program.
Hello. So the Interdisciplinary Honors Program at Chestnut Hill College provides highly motivated students with a broad and challenging introduction to the liberal arts through their participation in a series of interdisciplinary seminars that fulfill some of their core requirements. Outstanding students are invited before they get to campus to apply to the IDHP. They're selected to participate, and then they're required to maintain high academic standards over the course of their years at the college. So we'd like to recognize seniors who've completed the program and recognize them for completion of this rigorous program. I'm going to give them the honor cords that they have earned. Now, I should say, this year we had already a pretty small graduating class, 8 students, and more than half of them actually completed their degrees. These are the kind of high-achieving students they are in December, and so are out in the world right now, working, doing things, and cannot be with us today. But I'm going to read the names of all of the students who have completed the program. And if you're here, I know some of us are here, as your name is read, please stand and then remain standing. And at the end, we'll call you up to receive your honors cords, okay? So these are this year's IDHP seniors. Rebecca Elizabeth Dalton, Michael Lopez Zabala, Bailey M. Lowe, Erin M. McCarthy, Anna Marie Sanverdeen, Caitlin Karen Turpin, Christopher Velasco, Micah Ilias Winters, who's already standing. All right, so come on forward. Come on forward. Go with me. I now welcome Dr. Jennifer Wade forward to present departmental honors.
The following seniors have completed the Departmental Honors Program for the 2025 to 2026 academic year in their respective majors. The Departmental Honors Program is designed to offer excellent students an opportunity to work independently in their major discipline under the direction of a faculty director to complete a research project of their choosing. Traditionally, research culminates in an honors thesis submitted in April of the student's senior year, although this deadline may change if the student is graduating in December. Those students who successfully complete the program graduate with honors in their major, acknowledged on their Chestnut Hill College transcript. Eligibility is determined by mastery of the major field and by general ability. To be eligible, a student must have declared a major, have achieved a grade point average of 3.6 or higher in the major, and an overall grade point average of 3.5 or higher, and completed 60 semester hours towards his, her, or their degree, 12 of which must be credits in the major. In addition, the student must have the recommendation of the faculty in the major department. When your name is read, please stand and remain standing until all honorees have been recognized. Rodrigo Artiga, Zaria Dennis, Victoria Forbes, Brianna Garcia, Violet Glatz, Angelique Lockhart, Bailey Lowe, John Manzo, Maggie McGee, Claudia Romero-Rosillo, and Caitlin Turpin. Please join me in congratulating these seniors who will graduate with departmental honors. I invite these students to come forward to receive their departmental honors cords.
Congratulations. 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 Congratulations.
I now welcome Dr. Andrea Basu to present our Delta Epsilon Sigma students.
At this time, we'd like to induct new members to the Chestnut Hill College chapter of the Delta Epsilon Sigma Honor Society, which is distinct to Catholic institutions of higher education. In a democratic society wherein persons of like pursuits, abilities, interests, or convictions freely band themselves together for mutual support and encouragement, it is fitting that there is a national association constituted of selected individuals who have record of outstanding scholastic accomplishment and have promoted intellectual life. The membership in Delta Epsilon Sigma will be at once a distinction earned by past achievements and a stimulus to future intellectual work. The officers and members of this chapter of Delta Epsilon Sigma, after due consideration and deliberation, are convinced that you fulfill the requirements for membership in this national group of men and women whose motto, signified by the letters Delta Epsilon Sigma, may be taken to mean it is the mission of a wise person to put things in order. Wisdom is perfection of knowledge. A wise person is one who has put order into knowledge, who discriminates between true and false, who appraises things at their proper worth, and who can then use this knowledge, along with humility of being born into it, to go forward to accept the responsibilities and obligations which this ability imposes. My two inductees today are, if you could please stand, Audrey Thompson and Zaria Dennis. You, I'm pleased to share, are the representatives of the 2026 class of Chestnut Hill College that will be inducted into Delta Epsilon Sigma. We now welcome you into this society of distinguished students, graduates, and faculty who've enjoyed the privileges and accept the challenges offered to them. We feel confident that both of you, by your influence, service, and example, will help to effect a synthesis of religion, morality, and knowledge. With these cords, we signify that you are duly enrolled as a member of Delta Epsilon Sigma. Please come forward to receive your honor cords. Your certificates of membership will be sent to you in the summer. I'd like to welcome Dr. Mia Grogan back to the podium.
So Delta Epsilon Sigma, about which you just learned, sponsors an annual writing contest that's open to any undergraduate, member or non-member in an institution which has a chapter of the society. Manuscripts may be submitted in any of 5 categories: poetry, short fiction, creative nonfiction, critical analytical essay, and scholarly research. Here at Chestnut Hill College, exceptional student work in each of these categories may be nominated to our writing program director, who will select one entry for each category to represent the college in a national competition. This past year, we were pleased to submit the work of Tsepo Botate as our CHC entry in the category of creative nonfiction, and we are thrilled to announce that Tsepo earned second place in the category for his fine essay, The Witching Hours in the Honors Library. So we invite Tsepo to come forward and accept his award letter from the National DES headquarters, as well as a check for $250. Good job. All right. I now welcome Dr. Krista Murphy forward for the next Honor Society.
The purpose of the Kappa Gamma Pi Honor Society is to strive for a high standard of personal Christian excellence, service, and scholarship among members, to encourage individual and group initiative and participation in local and national and secular church and secular affairs, and to awaken a spirit of Christian leadership among the undergraduates of Kappa-affiliated colleges and universities. Kappa, Gamma, and Pi are the initial letters of the Greek phrase that means Catholic women leaders. The original name has been retained because of its importance in the society's history. The society was founded to be an association of distinguished women graduates whose purpose would be to exert a positive influence in their communities. Since its founding, Kappa Gamma Pi has grown in size and scope. Now, both non-Catholics and men are welcome to the membership of Kappa Gamma Pi each year. Today, over 59,000 graduates of 143 Catholic colleges are Kappa Gamma Pi members, and their successful lives and careers exemplify outstanding leadership and service in the church, their professions, and their communities. Zaria Dennis, please stand as representative of the 2026 class of Chestnut Hill students being inducted into Kappa Gamma Pi. It's a familiar face today coming up here. That's wonderful. The motto of the society is faith and service. Membership in Kappa Gamma Pi is a promise for the future to continue in service to church and community. Members are chosen because they have already demonstrated this commitment and are expected to continue in this leadership role after graduation. We now welcome you into this society and commend you for your scholarship, leadership, and service. Please come forward to receive your honor cords. Your certificate will be mailed this summer. Congratulations. I now welcome our president, Dr. Brian McCloskey, forward to present the St. Catherine Medal of the Kappa Gamma Pi Honor Society.
Thank you, Krista. Good afternoon, everyone. That was weak. Come on. Should have heard the alumni in here this weekend. They were raucous. Good afternoon, everyone. The St. Catherine Award Medal of the Kappa Gamma Pi Honor Society is awarded to a sophomore or junior who represents the high ideals of a Catholic college education. After being nominated by faculty, staff, and students, the recipient is selected by the Honors Committee based on their leadership and service. Nomination for this medal is an honor in itself. In the spirit of Kappa Gamma Pi, those nominated are selected not only for what they have already accomplished, but also because we are confident that they will continue to exemplify the high ideals of a Catholic education expressed in their leadership and service. We recognize this year's nominees. Please stand as I call your name. Elizabeth Figel, Rumesa Garby, Mary Golbiva, John Patterson, Faith Williams, and Sarah Winning. Congratulations. Nominees, you can be seated. This year, because of this exemplary group of nominees, we are pleased to present 2 St. Catherine medals to 2 CHC students who truly embody a commitment to leadership and service grounded in an active, inclusive love for all dear neighbors without distinction. Our first recipient was acknowledged by those who nominated them as a role model and a natural leader, particularly in the classroom. One nominator wrote that this person's leadership is evident all around the campus, but I would like to highlight their leadership in the classroom setting where they truly exhibit an infectious passion for learning and knowledge. Their academic work is exemplary, and they are truly supportive and encouraging of their classmates. Another faculty nominator wrote about having the pleasure of seeing them in action at their educational field placement, where their classroom creativity and preparation with 5th graders went above and beyond. This student offers tireless dedication as a servant leader in their role as a resident assistant. In their own words, they write, "Service is not telling people what they need, but having vulnerable, genuine conversations with others, learning what their needs truly are. I've taken these values to my RA position and used them to inform how I communicate and enforce policies in the residence halls. As an RA, I recognize that all my residents are unique individuals with distinct needs and life experiences, and that I need to approach all my residents differently." Finally, this student, though very busy, models making time for rejuvenation, creativity, and community connection through their own involvement in a beloved campus organization, the CHC Sewing Club. Please join me in congratulating Lizzie Figel.
Congratulations. Trying to get a picture?
Thank you. Our second recipient is extremely active on campus, highly involved in clubs and student leadership opportunities. They are a passionate, dedicated, and motivated leader, constantly seeking to create spaces of belonging for fellow students on campus and to engage with a spirit of inclusion with the local community. They care about issues of social justice, learning new things, having new experiences, engaging in service both on and off the campus, and living with a spirit of deep joy. A natural leader, this student is full of ideas about how we can most authentically live out the Chestnut Hill College mission and seeks to do this in the most creative and expansive ways. They reflect this in their own words, writing, "At Chestnut Hill College, I feel like leadership and service are a big part of what makes the education here transformative and holistic. It's not just about going to class and getting good grades. It's about growing as a whole person mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and socially. Leadership at CHC teaches us how to use our voice. It's not about being in charge just to have power. It's about learning how to guide others, support our community, and stand up for what's right. This student demonstrates these values as a student worker and synodal fellow in campus ministry. This student is commended for the countless ways they work to help their peers feel seen, heard, and valued. They bring passion and dedication to their academic work as their personal holistic growth, truly striving to give 100% each day. Please join me in congratulating John Patterson. This is like the best part of being president, giving these awards out. Congratulations again, Lizzie and John. I now welcome Dr. Rosalind Emanuel Fennell forward to present our final award. Roz?
Thank you. The Dorothy E. Fenton Memorial Medal
was first presented at the Honors Convocation in 1929. It was established by the college's first graduating class of 1928, in honor of their classmate, Dorothy Fenton, who died a week before their graduation. The award is given in recognition of these ideals, eager pursuit of all that pertains to the higher life of the spirit and gracious courtesy in the encounters. The medal represents Dorothy's legacy of joy, sincerity, loyalty, and tremendous interest in the adventures of life. The medal bears the inscription, the fruit of the Spirit in charity. Seniors are nominated for this award by faculty, staff, and students, and the recipient is chosen by the Honors Committee, an almost impossible task given that we are blessed by the many wonderful students who live these ideals. And so, we recognize this year's nominees. Please stand as I call your name. Autumn Chandler. Angelique Lockhart. And Jasmine Ramirez. Congratulations. Please be seated. This year's recipient embodies the spirit of Dorothy Fenton and is truly known for her kindness, eager pursuit of a holistic education, friendliness, and a care for all she encounters. In the word of those who nominated her, this student radiates deep consideration of others, and her presence makes all feel wanted and feel cared for. She has a quiet and a steady sense of pursuit for justice, evidence in her work, activities, and life goals. She is creative in all aspects of who she is and who she strives to be. Others nominated this student affirm her as a steady, humble, engaged student with one faculty member noting her unusual warmth and openness that makes others immediately feels comfortable around her. She is passionate, intentional, bright, and thoughtful, and approaching life with curiosity, openness, depth, care, and creativity. She recognized the inherent dignity in each human and neighbor and is great steward of caring for the environment in which we live. And these qualities are apparent in every interaction. She shows this in her student teaching, in her internship with the Sisters of St. Joseph Justice Office, and in her interactions with her peers. As another nominator wrote, she is a shining example of what we hope for Chestnut Hill College graduates. She has modeled selfless servant leadership for years, all in her quiet, pleasant way. I cannot recommend her highly enough for this award. Please join me in congratulating Autumn Chandler. I now welcome Anna Ryan Vander forward to offer our benediction.
Thanks, everyone. So before we enjoy good company, it's so nice to see the room so full. I didn't see the people in the back from the front row. We're just going to pause for a moment in deep gratitude for the gift of all these students, certainly those who are graduating and also those who will remain with us as your Chestnut Hill College journey continues. We are deeply grateful for the gift that you each bring to this place. And so we pray. Gracious God, font and source of inspiration, goodness in all things. We ask your blessing upon these students whom we honor today for their achievements. For each unique individual made in your holy likeness, for the joy, friendship, challenge, and support they have offered one another, we give thanks. We celebrate their capacity for creativity, for critical thinking, for focused effort, for countless opportunities to grow and develop, for discovering a sense of meaning, belonging, and purpose along the way. We give thanks. Thank you for their confidence to discover and explore new possibilities, and knowledge to discern what is right and good and just, for the unwavering encouragement of their families, educators, and communities, for those who have loved them well and have taught them to love. We give thanks. Enable them to draw upon the wisdom and experience of yesterday as they respond to the questions and concerns of tomorrow. Through their actions, may they always be messengers of unity and reconciliation with and for the broken and wounded, those in need of healing, and those oppressed by all acts of injustice throughout our world. May they be change makers for your goodness in a place and time so deeply in need of love. Gracious God, support our honored students as they continue to make a difference in the world, leading lives that foster unity in a world rife with division. Guide them as their journeys continue, keeping them energized and persistent in living the mission of Chestnut Hill College. We ask all of this in your holy name. Amen. So thank you for joining us. Please stay, have a bite to eat as we continue to celebrate.